you're talking to. Concentration, slip away, because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a rose in the twisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Rich Procida. Welcome to our discussion on the Rollo Tomassi's book, The Rational Male. So The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. We're going to talk about the sections on the desire dynamic. And so what I'm going to do, all I'm going to do is read the book a little bit, read out of the book, make some commentary on it. And then after I do then we'll have an open discussion. That is true. Do not go with the first one. But what if your first one is at 27 years old at a university and you do not want to lose her and still be looking around for someone better or more educated who has a career? Okay. Oh, that's from Maria. All right. So, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. There's always could be somebody who comes into the relationship. A woman can always be looking around, married or not, committed or not. In fact, when a man commits, first of all, it lowers your value. You've just told her that you're willing to commit to her. So you must not be as high value as she thought. And then, but more, let's see, the first one, 27 years old. Yeah, it's just, they're going to come around anyway. And so the idea is not that you're going to lock, like I often say, I want to lock a woman in by 70. I feel if I lock a woman in by 70, I've got a chance that she'll be there for me, that we won't get a divorce, that we won't have a breakup thing. If I go into these short-term relationships, I'm guaranteed that I'm going to run through a whole bunch of junk. But so my idea is, do you stick around? Do you say yes? Do you say yes? La mujer se dice sí, gana. You say yes to going out on dates. You say yes to intimacy, even if it's short of sex. And I just have to say that the fact that I don't want to enter into a committed relationship while I'm dating does not mean that you're required to have sex with me. You're not. And I'm not required, and so I can get that elsewhere, right? I don't need to have sex with every woman that I date. If a woman has that desire to withhold herself under certain conditions, whether reasonable or unreasonable, I'm perfectly fine. I can get that someplace else. And that's why men should develop those sources, whether it's friends with benefits, which I prefer to call lovers, whatever. And, but yeah, you're not going to, just because you can lock a person down does not mean they're going to love you forever. Does not mean they're going to be with you forever. Does not mean that they're not going to fool around. Doesn't mean that they're going to leave you, So if the person really likes you, that's when they're going to hang around. It's not, oh, I got this woman, I don't want to lose this woman, and therefore I'm going to lock her down. No, they have to come to you of their own volition. Thank you, Zena. So let me go back up. All right, so that's it for the questions in the Zoom. Any other questions, put them in Zoom, or if someone would like to speak up or ask another question. Did you guys get anything out of that? Let me know if you got any information that was helpful to you. So Maria responds, that's true, you cannot lock them up, but that is the risk. No one should control you, and you just have to feel the pain if they betray you. So I'm trying to gather that comment. So yeah, you can't lock them up, and there is risk. That's true. And right, no one should control you, right? Yeah. And oftentimes this is a power game. You know, this is about giving sole the one person to be your sole access to intimacy and affection. I mean, beyond family and friends and things like that, your sole source of sexual intimacy and affection is a big power trip for women. And that's why I advocate that men should have alternative sources. And the idea you have to feel the pain if they betray you. And one thing I'm thinking about is that, hey, if I can't have, I mean, one woman first, they not just betray, they could die on you, right? A woman could die on you, and then you have nobody. But if you have multiple women, right, maybe it's more likely that you'll have people there with you when you're going through your difficult time, whatever that is. So, and then really you find out who really cares, who really is, you know, into you and concerned about you and love you. And then also the idea is that, like, for instance, I have my girlfriend here in Los Angeles who, you know, I just, you know, I have certain issues, but she's great. And I have my girlfriend in Roatan. I have other girlfriends here as well. If I have to choose between one of them, somebody's going to get hurt, right? But if I don't have to choose between one of them, everyone can be happy, except this idea that, oh my God, you're not just with me, which, as we read from Rollo Tomasi's books, is actually good for our sexual libido and desire and sexual attraction in the relationship. It's actually more attractive. Women want what other women want and have. It's the nature. So by capitulating to them right off the bat, you know, you're going down. Let's just say you're going down. So I think sometimes that the pain is induced by the requirement of commitment and exclusivity, that that requirement creates the betrayal. Without that requirement, there's no betrayal. So my girlfriend here in Los Angeles who loves me doesn't have to fear losing me, you know, but if I feel that the woman in Honduras is great and a better ideal, or another woman is better, you know, I don't have to dump someone who loves me and hurt them if it's a non-exclusive relationship. And so in some ways, non-exclusive relationships are less painful than exclusive ones, especially considering the divorce rate and all of that. If you can do it, if you can't do it. But I think for men, there's things you can do. And those are things, some of them are not that hard. And recognize your value. Recognize your value as a man. And you know, one thing that keeps me from getting past the second meeting is my car. So my thought is, if I could get a new car, even rent a car for a date, right? I might be able to get to the dates, but then once they get to my condo, then at least I probably get sexual intimacy before they look around at what I have and leave me. So that's really what it comes down to, gentlemen. The beautiful women, they do not want an old car and they want a big house. And that's one reason why I went to Roatan and did that sort of bachelor thing, bachelorette thing, bachelor thing. You know, I'm here in Roatan. I'm here for 5 days. I'll pay for you to come over on the ferry, come over, and you know. So that was great. That was fantastic, and it worked out. And these things you can't do with a blue pill. If you're blue pilled, it's just unimaginable. But when you're red pilled, it becomes imaginable. When you realize that you should spin plates, which means date multiple women. When you realize you should, have not capitulate to exclusivity, and when you start to use these principles and game and all of that, you make mistakes, of course, but all of a sudden things happen that are wouldn't never happen if you're thinking blue pilled, commitment, provider type of mentality. So the women are free to speak too. Any other questions?
Just one.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Sorry, I was muted. One of the you're not trying to villainize women again, are you? Because you remember, not all of them are bad.
Okay, here's the thing.
You know that, right? You know that, right?
Yeah. I've been going through a lot of women, Jeffrey. I've been going through a lot, and I've seen the bad, and I'm coming to recognize the good. Now, I had a young Korean woman, just want me to buy her groceries. So I've seen the bad. I've seen women just want me to take them to expensive restaurants, try to make me, just terrible stuff, And so there's a lot of bad out there, and that's what I'm trying to let you guys know, right? I mean, I think it's not to vilify women, because sometimes I think we give women too much. We give them too much leeway. What is it? We allow them to do things, and we make justifications for it. We're giving them too much slack, and just being critical is not to vilify. To be critical and to criticize what's happening and to talk about the reality of how they are and how they behave is not to vilify them. It's to help us to understand them so that we won't be so torn apart all the time.
Can you simplify that for me, please?
Well, just so that you understand, so that you can know what to do, basically, and you know what's going on. So you know what's going on, you know what to do, you have a better idea of what to do, how to behave in these situations, that you're not caught off guard. That there's one thing this dating coach said: women know how to take advantage of weak men. And I even paid for some of those groceries. I fall for it. And that's why men have got to be dicks sometimes, because women take advantage of you. Oh, okay. Somebody raised their hand. Oh, there we go. All right, great. So go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, that's Amarismo speaking.
Okay, good.
I guess I can relate to what you're saying, because like sometimes my experience has been when I go to like clubs and bars, a lot of women want guys to buy them drinks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And also when we go out to dinner, they want to pick up the guy to pick up the tab.
Mm-hmm.
They also want like equal rights as pay and everything else, but they still want the guy to pick up the tab and make the first move and everything like that. So it's like they want equal rights, but then they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean by that, because I've been kind of a victim about that. And also, I have tried some, like you said, Tinder. I tried like Tinder, and a lot of people on there they're looking for guys to make money off them, like kind of look like a little bit of prostitution. Can you buy me stuff? And they're
There
looking
are.
for your
Yeah.
daddy, things like that.
Yeah.
They're looking for like a father to pay for all their books in school and in college and things like that. And sometimes to be very blunt about it, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that. But there's also women out there who are looking for a long-term relationship too on those apps.
Yeah, that's what they say a lot. But I also I think you brought it up pretty good about the non-committal or the non-exclusive. I think like when someone goes out, I think there was a guy up in I'm actually in LA too. I'm in Santa Monica, but some guy up in San Francisco, and he categorized 4 layers of dating. And he
Uh-huh.
said, like, the first level dating, when you take someone out on a date, it's kind of like a job interview. You're just trying to get to know the person. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you exclusively cut everybody out. You got to meet other people and figure out what you need to figure out this person, and other people as well. Then it goes up to another level where you're dating, and it's a little bit more, I forget all the terms, a little more, maybe dating, but exclusive, and then it goes to another dating, committed, and then more committal, something like that. I don't remember the 4 layers, but and with those layers, each step you get more and more and learning about the person instead of like just locking in and going for. So sometimes people go out on 3 days and figure, oh, this is my boyfriend girlfriend. We're in a committed relationship. It's just not the case. And I really appreciate what you said about by being in a non-committal relationship, if something goes wrong, do not hurt as much. Let me
Yeah.
share that part with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You said a lot there. And I wanted to go back to the first thing you said, which I forget what it was. What was the first thing you said? Yeah.
At bars and restaurants,
Yeah.
the girls want
Yeah.
guys buy them
Yeah.
drinks, and then
Yeah.
many times I've been burnt.
Yeah. When I was younger, I had a real problem with that. And, I was not a rich kid, I was and then I got into feminism. I started wanting equality. I thought everybody, women want equality. And I said, well, equality, well, then pay for yourself, right? It seemed logical to me, pay for yourself. If you want equality, that's what equality is, but the dynamics of the relationship are somehow different. And that's a problem with traditional relationships. They're not really based on equality at all. And there is some romantic idea about that, but then women will take advantage of it and abuse you. Even if they're your friends, just as friends, they want to take it, And so it's very important when a woman actually offers to pay. One thing about this woman in Roatan that I met that I really impressed me was that I was having money getting the limpitas, which are the currency, and so I needed them. I was having trouble getting money at all, actually, because it wasn't giving me money from my ATM card. And for some reason, my bank was counting it as dollars when like 5,000 limpitas is only about $200. So it wasn't giving me any money. And she helped me. And she paid for taxis. She and you know what else? She didn't complain about it. Can you believe that? She didn't complain about it. That was amazing. That's amazing. I was amazed. A women of a different culture sometimes are better. Orion Taraban was telling, it was a podcaster, that you're welcome, women in Japan won't allow a man to open a door for them because they don't want to see a man denigrate himself like that. So women in different cultures can be very different. And in this culture, women are entitled. Women often feel entitled to a man's money, even if they're not ripping you off, And so they can say, and I pointed out, they say, we don't need a man's money. We can make our own money. Yay, yay, yay. It doesn't stop them from wanting it and desiring it and feeling entitled to it. And so we're in a real dilemma, right? Every woman I go out with, right, who's beautiful, right, and my age, And women want to complain about men dating younger women. But every woman I go out with who's beautiful and my age, okay, they like me when they see me. The car is a killer. You know, I drive, and the condo is probably another killer. You know, they expect more. You know, so now I date poor women. I date the woman in Los Angeles is poor, seeking asylum, and the woman in Honduras is, of course, poor. And so I'm limited to dating poor women, or maybe if I get them, like one woman I dated for a long time, but it started out as an affair, and I just didn't qualify. I didn't make the money. I didn't have the house. I don't have the car. Therefore, there can be no relationship that she would acknowledge publicly to her, to people she knew, you know. So, so that's a real problem. But on the other hand, I say it's a social convention. It's a social convention, and buying drinks, you know, you might want to be careful about that. Delay them a little bit if you can, you know, trying to figure out if they're actually interested or not, or just trying to get you drinks. That's a normal ploy that women play all the time, and everybody thinks it's okay. And that's why we get Jeffrey's question, are you villainizing women? Well, no, you don't need to villainize them. You just watch them, you know, and this is the behavior. So we're not vilifying anybody, you know, we're just looking at the behavior, right? But I have to do it. You have to pay for dates. You have to, you know, you can't get around it. You don't have to buy every single woman who asks you a drink, and you don't have to take every single woman out. And when a woman actually pays for herself and does it in a way in which it's not about, okay, I'm paying for myself, but this isn't a real date, blah, blah, blah. And you're not getting to first base, blah, blah, blah. Then you know you've got somebody good and half decent, you know, when they do that. Somebody who's not using you, because you, like the good thing about the woman in Roatan, I led with my sex. I led with sex, not with money. And so that's good, because there's mutual desire. There was a desire there, you know, like I say, there's some men for whom women would drop their pants in an instant, in a moment, a hot moment, un momento caliente. And there are some men that do it. And for that woman, I was that man. That means she desired me, right? Whether it's because I'm American, because I'm good looking, because I'm tall, because I'm big, or because just the whole situation of, you know, flying in, bringing her over, you know, it's very Bachelor TV show like. So those are the things that you want to look for in a woman when you're going out with a woman. You want to look for those types of things, because a woman who just expects everything, feels entitled to everything. I was on a phone call with a woman today, and, you know, feeling entitled and saying, I'm not a man who wants to treat me like a lady, knows how to treat a woman like a lady. And this woman was just, wouldn't hear a word I'm saying. You know, think what they're going to think, and that's it.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
He can do anything. Grab him by the pussy.
He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voting. Very fine people on both sides.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.